Mass deportations are coming. I think that he's right. I do think that we are on the track for mass deportations. I don't even think it's going to take that long either.
Things are heating up in Britain, and honestly, I think that it's going to come to a head at some point when someone on the other side does something terrible. Because I think that's really where this is going. I mean, as you can see, the flag campaign is still going very strong. It's being called contentious by the mayor of Manchester, Greater Manchester.
What a surprise.
Which is great. And then, of course, we have this video of the two sisters going around. The one
we saw this yesterday
with the knife and the axe being
Skyrim.
the younger one who the older sister is trying to protect from an immigrant who is filming and harassing her. Now, Basil here is right to point out, you hear the fear in their voices.
Well, I love and the thing is, what I found to be so funny about this is that the cops tried to turn this into the girls were harassing the immigrant. Now, I don't know about you, but if somebody yells at me and tells me to leave and they pull out an axe and a knife, I'm going to turn around and leave. Like so why is he even there? Doesn't that sound interesting? Like, yeah, wouldn't you just immediately get the fuck out of there? Quickly, too. Yeah, exactly. But instead he's harassing them and filming them? Yeah, I wonder why.
I'm not sure how exactly to put this, but this is evidently not the first time that this has happened to these girls.
Probably not.
They didn't choose one day to go out armed and then happen to coincidentally bump into a migrant who was
Oh, she's harassing him. Then why are you walking towards her? Why would you be walking towards a person with a knife and an axe if all you wanted to do is to have them leave you alone? Really, like, I mean, imagine, like, think about the level of cognitive dissonance that you have to have in order to believe the police whenever they are actively trying to lie to you. It's unreal. And Reddit was even going, well, it's obvious Reddit was going along with this.
Harass them in the streets. This has clearly happened before. God only knows what's happened to them before, which is why they felt the need to arm themselves. So I'm not surprised that they sound terrified, frankly.
Yeah, I wonder why.
And yes, she was, of course, arrested for brandishing dangerous weapons. But, of course, the migrants are just fed to the wolves, as Charmaine here points out. And this was in Scotland as well. This wasn't even in England. But this is just the reality of being...
I guess they have to ban axes, guys. The only solution to this is ban axes. We have an axe violence problem in Britain or Scotland, and so we have to get rid of all axes. And then this issue should go away.
Britain, and in fact, Europe more broadly, but I'll cover that again tomorrow on the podcast. The authorities are here to make sure you are under control. They don't really see the new arrivals as being under their legitimate authority. They've got their own customs, they've got their own ways.
Yeah.
They have a different way of looking at the world, and you are a racist. So you are the one who's policed, because you, is expected, will cooperate with the police. And this really does just hammer home the point, doesn't it?
It's insane.
When daughters need to arm themselves against new arrivals on the streets, how much longer can liberals pretend multiculturalism is working? And moreover...
It's not even multiculturalism. Like, I mean, again, there's plenty of people that probably live there that are from different cultures that aren't going around harassing girls like this. That's the problem. And I think this is what's happening, is that basically any sort of logical, rational discussion around, hey, maybe it's not a good idea to import a bunch of these people from this other country that speak another language, come from a totally different culture, and we're not really vetting them properly. Any sort of conversation in that direction was totally shut down as racism. It was totally shut down as racism, and nobody wanted to hear it. And I think the result of that is that now you have people that are reacting in the opposite way. They're saying any multiculturalism is bad. We don't want any of these people here because, again, when you make reasonable conversation impossible, you make unreasonable conversation inevitable. And that's what's happened here, is that they have shut down any sort of reasonable or measured approach to dealing with this problem. And because of that, you have situations like this girl with the knife.
is there a limit to the number of children
That's
that
what's
they're going
happening.
to sacrifice to their ideals? And the answer to that, you and I both know, is that no, there is no limit. There is literally no limit to the number of dead or raped children that the liberal will say, you know what, maybe I was wrong about this. Maybe actually this isn't what I was after.
Well, the reason why is because they don't care about the kids. They care about pushing forward ideas that make them feel good. There's the idea that there's like a good intention behind this is a lie. There's not. It's a very clear intentional behavior. It's again pathological performative narcissism. So I'm gonna just read this person's comments. Not giving this guy a presumption of innocence is complete racism. This guy and his wife are leaving a store and a group of girls targeted him with weapons. Why would you follow a 12-year-old girl that tells you to leave her alone with knives and axes? Would you do that? He was filming the weapons for evidence. Why was he getting so close to them? Why were they walking away from him? Did you see the footage of them harassing and attacking this guy whenever he walked out of the store? Why do you think she had the weapons in the first place? The police reviewed all the CCNet and found that they approached him. Did you see it? Did you see the camera? I trust the police in Scotland. Hasn't there been provable, verifiable evidence that they intentionally misreport the amount of rapes and violent crime that migrants do? I mean, I hear this all the time in the UK. I'm sure it's also true in Scotland too. Why would you trust them after they've been proven to lie about this topic in the past? Police to stop passing immigration status on crime victims dealing with potential criminality. Migrant walks free. News releases and statements. Let's see if we can find any more of these here. Prosecuting them as well. So why would you trust the police? This is very clearly a very large issue. Why didn't they publish the data? Why didn't they show it happening? They could have blurred out the individuals and the women that were doing it. And so don't say it's for their safety or privacy, because it's a literal video of them right there. So they didn't post it publicly. You're actually going to trust the government after these girls are intentionally trying to actively run away and walk away from this person. And also, by the way, let's use a little bit more logic here. If he was filming them for evidence that they had weapons, but he was coming out of a place that had a TV, then why would he film them if they were just being filmed inside of there with the TV for surveillance? I mean, how many levels of lies do you have to exist in before you just acknowledge the obvious truth? Yeah, for his protection. You can really hear their fear. They scream, "Stay away." Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Like, so these girls, like, you actually, it's illogic. Yeah, there's no logic in any of this. That's the huge problem here. Have you seen how bad CCTV cameras are? Well, okay, so if you've seen how bad the CCTV cameras are, then how are the police able to come to this conclusion? I don't understand the thinking of any of these people. And I think the reason why is because there isn't any. There isn't any thinking. You're just simply deferring to authority like a retard. Maybe he knew they wouldn't actually do anything. Well, that's exactly why he was pursuing them. Oh, I'm not going to, this is your, not always obvious for people with CCTV, is it? Yeah, of course, it's not always obvious, yeah. So the thing that they're not showing anybody actually showed that these two 12-year-old girls that are running away from a migrant, exasperated, trying to defend themselves with weapons, actually somehow they were the ones that antagonized him, and it's in fact the police that told you that have not released any evidence of it. Nobody has gotten in charge. Also, by the way, then if they're harassing this man, why wasn't the other girl why didn't she get in trouble too? So if only the girl that got arrested was for the weapons, isn't harassing people in public and attacking them, isn't this something that is against the law? So why didn't the other one get arrested? It's just, there's no logic with this. I can't imagine how many layers of stupidity you have to go through to actually believe such an obvious lie. You also don't have any evidence. Why can't you give any benefit of the doubt here? Because I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. No, I'm not going to defer to some vague, fucking opaque government organization that has systematically, in Europe, this has systematically happened all over Europe, that they have intentionally tried to obfuscate migrant crime. This is undeniable that this has happened. For you to assume that two 12 and 14-year-old girls were actually the aggressor against a random migrant as they are walking away from him, exasperated, trying to say, "Stay away from me," as he is following them, and you want to listen to the police whenever they say, "Oh no, they were the ones making him mad," you are out of your fucking mind. You have completely lost the plot.
Maybe actually, people from different places on the earth are actually different and actually not compatible. They will never, ever back down from this, you know. But you see this kind of mythologizing of this young lady going around. And this is lovely. This, and it is nice that our American friends are doing this. But it is a damning indictment of what is happening in this country. And the AI art makes her look, honestly, braver than she was. It's not that she's not brave, obviously. But she's also terrified. She's also deeply afraid. And I saw people saying...
I've seen this exact situation with all white men and boys in Scotland. I'm sorry, but you're making sweeping assumptions. No, I'm not. It's obvious what's happening. It's obvious what's happening to any reasonable person. Everybody knows what's happening. You're not... This is... You're not... This is not even worth discussing. If you're actually going to believe the police department on this, you're just everybody knows this. That's why they won't show it.
Well, you know, women vote...
What a fucking retard.
For this. It's like, well, look, man, she's like 12.
Yeah.
She didn't vote for any of this. This has been done to her. And honestly, many of the victims of multiculturalism are in the same boat. These are people who are not people who chose to have this. They were way too young to make any choices, and they had it inflicted upon them. So anyway, we're in the position where this meme is not even inaccurate. You can either defend yourself and get arrested, or you can leave yourself to the tender mercies of the imported rapists. And the government knows which side they're on. They know, and they've made the choice.
Yep.
Then you get other people pointing out, the reason this photo resonates with people is because we are beginning to understand the physicality of the conflict. We are abandoning abstractions after years of deludedly believing we could vote our way out of this mess. Well, the thing is, it will still be voting that does actually resolve this in the end, to be honest.
Oh, I hope so. I certainly hope so. I'm very concerned that there's going to be some form of violence, because I think that things are getting very extreme. Like, you're starting to see these mass protests. You're starting to see tensions escalate between different groups of people. It seems very problematic, and I think that will be bad for everybody. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. But if people can't vote their way out of this, they will find other solutions instead.
Believe it or not, I know that a lot of people don't hear it, but we will end up voting a hard right government into power, and they will eventually denaturalize and deport millions of foreigners who are allowed to come here against our will. That's how this is going to end up going. There isn't going to be...
Somebody says, you actually think the UK government is concealed fascists who control the police and all media, silencing any people who are against them? I think that the government there is intentionally trying to obfuscate the amount of migrant crime and migrant sexual assaults that happen in order to not make it look obvious where the problem is coming from. I think that's what they're doing. I mean, the rest of the stuff, I think that's all up for debate. But in this certain circumstance, I think that's absolutely what's happening. This is in the UK. Yeah, exactly. Must be retard today. Well, you'd be surprised how many people immediately, and this is what's so sad, is that people will immediately turn over their own eyes and ears to the deferential opinion of a police department with no level of evidence or accountability and even a prior record of lying. But people care so much to listen to authority that they will just believe anything that they're told. And I actually don't think that's the entire truth. I think the reality is that people don't like people don't like the politics that are coming out of this. And because they don't like the politics that are coming out of this, they're actively trying to hang on to anything that would undermine this movement. That's the real reason why they're doing it. It's not, in some cases they're stupid, but it's the optics. Yeah, exactly.
Some sort of race war, as it is. There will be sectarian conflict, but it won't be directed by the states. It won't be something, or there won't be armies fighting over things. It won't be a civil war as we traditionally understand it. But eventually, a hard right government, democracy will limp along. Eventually, a hard right government will get into power with promises of just removing these people from our lands. And that's...
Ask me, you haven't been shown any evidence that an immigrant was harassing her. I just saw a video of an immigrant harassing her, walking after her constantly. If somebody tells you to leave, if somebody says, leave me alone, and you keep following them, you're harassing them. You're out of your mind. It's shocking to me that so many people are stupid. Well, it's not, but again, it's so obvious what's happening here.
That's what will happen. Because again,
don't believe your lying eyes, guys.
Europeans have trouble believing it, but the British Parliament is completely sovereign. We can do with it what we want, and we just have to have the will to make it do the things we actually need it to do. But anyway, so you, of course, are aware that the Restore Britain rape gang inquiry is underway, and my goodness, already, they haven't even released like any major findings yet, but already that Charlie's involved with it. And he says, we don't know the true scale of these atrocities, but this new data, you can be sure there's only 1 or 2 degrees of separation from you to someone directly affected. 85 local authorities across Britain have Islamic rape gangs. And of course, Elon here, the Quisling collaborators should be charged with aiding rape and in some cases murder.
Oh, yes. That's what they need to do. Whenever the opposite side gets in power, they need to figure out everybody who facilitated this and put them all in jail pretty much forever. That's what I would do if I was them. Because this is the problem, is that people do this and then they're just going to get away with it, basically. Yeah, that's what needs to happen, is that you need to have long-term consequences for the people that enabled this.
Spent a long time in prison. They absolutely should. And that would be a lot of Labour Party councillors and MPs who would go to jail for a long time if we lived in a country that actually valued the sanctity of our children. I mean, the Conservatives could have done this at any point, right? The Conservatives could be like, wait a minute, are these Labour councillors actually, and all these Labour-run police, are they all involved with the grooming gangs? Oh, they are.
Yep.
Oh, well, you guys are in trouble because we're sending you to jail forever, is what they could have done. But no, it takes the independent movement, Restore Britain, hopefully funded by Elon.
Well, eventually there will be enough people that get fed up that there will be a governmental change. I think that's what's going to happen. Now, the only question is that when that governmental change happens, will those people exercise restraint whenever they are in control? In my opinion, I don't think they should. I think these are people that have been complicit and have aided and abetted the rape, sexual assault, murder, and violence against their own people. And really, like, if you're making that decision and you're doing that, then you deserve whatever happens. It'll be justified? Yeah, of course. I mean, and again, yeah, not for restraint doesn't solve the problem. Exactly. Like, yeah, there's absolutely not. Like, yeah, it's not even a question. I'm not saying you should kill them, right? I mean, like, it's up to them to decide what they should do. But, like, I mean, if it was up to me, I would at least put them in jail. Like, indefinitely.
Musk to actually get any motion on this. But like I said, we're going to get a hard right government at some point. I tell you, when it comes, the whiplash is going to be brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Dixon is correct to frame it as the greatest atrocity in our history. And it really is. It's genuinely hard to think of anything worse that has happened to the British people. And mostly it's in England, but you can see it's in other areas as well. Scotland and Wales, Northern Ireland, you can see. And like I said, this is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. But it's always the same profile. It's always the same people.
Yep.
And apparently it was going on since the 1950s, they have found. So the moment that they got here, they started doing it. Now, one might ask, well, what are things like in Pakistan for young women and girls? Well, who knows? Anyway, Elon said that he would like to help fund the legal actions against corrupt officials who aid and abetted.
This is a massive, huge Elon W. I would like to help fund legal actions against corrupt officials who aided and abetted the rape of Britain, per the official government inquiry. Please reply below for consideration. Again, they need to get control of the government. As soon as they get control of the government, they can do this for free. But that's what needs to happen first. As soon as that happens, this stuff stops immediately.
As per the official government inquiry, please reply below for consideration. The thing is, this isn't an official government inquiry.
You can't go to court against officials. You need money. This is massive. Why would you think that? Do you really think that whenever the far right government that will obviously supersede what's here, do you really think that they're going to care about court proceedings? Do you really think that's what's going to happen? Like, yeah, they're just going to change the rules. Like, what are you thinking?
The Labour Party did say they were going to hold an official government inquiry, but of course, what's that? Crickets? Yes, we've heard nothing on it. Absolutely nothing. Rupert Lowe and Restore Britain are the only people actually doing anything about this. I mean, Nigel Farage said he was going to do one. Where's that? What happened to that? Again, it's disappeared into the ether because really it's not a big deal for them. But of course, you've got loads of people giving some great suggestions on how to help and things like that, which is wonderful.
Yeah, of course.
It would be great if Elon were to support these people and support
I think
getting this done. That would be amazing.
That'd be great.
It would be like, thank God we've got someone somewhere who cares, right? Because really that's what this is all about. It's just a lack of giving a damn about what has happened to the children of this country.
Well, it's the adherence to the party philosophy and ideology over the best interests of people. I think that's really the big problem here. That's where the problem's really coming from more than anything.
But again, you can feel the momentum rising. You can feel the pressure building. This isn't going to be something that they're going to be able to sweep under the rug. Too many people were hurt. Too many lives have been ruined. Too much has happened. And this is what the flagging campaign is about. It is this overall sense of sovereignty of the British people, in particular the English people, over their own country. We have been abused and taken advantage of for far too long. And you can feel the time is coming that this is not going to go on forever.
Right?
This
that was a pretty big one.
To an end.
Yeah.
And Elon, of course, has spotted that Nigel Farage is once again behind the times. Now, Nigel came out and said that he was going to deport 600,000 illegal immigrants in his first year. Why so low? Why not more?
Yeah, exactly. See, this is the thing. I said this shit was going to happen. Absolutely. Yeah, they want all of them gone. That's really where it's at.
We know that there are at least going to be about 2 million illegal immigrants in the country, but there are going to be, and the rest, what about all of those other ones? Why not deport them all? Like, go through the communities with, like, deportation squads. Let me see your paper. Are you illegal? You're illegal. Right, get out. Because these communities...
Seems like it's a pretty simple idea. I don't know why anybody would be against this.
Are an anchor to the illegals. So the first thing you do is stop benefits, stop housing benefits, stop access to the NHS, and then you just go through these communities and start making sure the people who are here legally, then you deport them. Then you denaturalize the Boris wave and deport them too. And the combined efforts of manually removing them, the illegals, and just turning off the benefits will just encourage millions of them to just leave. They'll just go. Because they'll realize, oh no, wait, the British state isn't just going to pour gold into my pockets and punish the people who object to this now. They're actually now, I'm on the outside now. and the British state is working for the British people. So actually, I'm just going to leave. And this would be such an easy series of wins for Nigel. But of course, Elon's got his number. Unfortunately, the reality is that Farage will do almost nothing to protect Britain. That is obvious. He called it back in January, or whenever it was. I think it was back in January, when he said Farage isn't the guy, and he's right. Existing law is clear that anyone who...
No, he's not extreme enough. I think Nigel Farage was really good as a mover for starting this maybe like 10 years ago. But I think that since then, the politics and the situation has gotten more dire, and people want someone who's more extreme and more hardline stance on what the issue is. He's not a leader. Well, I think that I think he played a great role in, Brexit, and he played a great role in, I think, trying to normalize what's happening now, but I don't think he's going to be the one to take it across the finish line. And I think that's pretty obvious. I don't think that's necessarily shitting on Nigel Farage. I think that, people can respect the fact that, he's done a lot of things to lay the groundwork for the conversations that are happening now. But at this point, I think people need someone who's a little bit more aggressive.
Accessory to aggravated rape or murder, especially of children, is guilty of a serious crime and must serve time either in prison if a citizen or be deported if not. The government simply needs to enforce the law. Now, of course, a Labour government would never enforce this law because there'd be their people they'd be sending to jail or deporting.
What a surprise.
But a different government could easily do it, and Nigel Farage could easily commit to this. He could easily commit to doing this to the Labour Party.
Yeah, he's not going to be the guy.
Rupert's there. No, he doesn't have what it takes. Ben Habib, no, he doesn't have what it takes. Again, advance is...
he's not answering. He's not giving solutions that are relevant to the people that live there, right? How about Conor McGregor running for president of Ireland? I mean, I have no idea about that. I just don't know about it.
Habib's party, go and join it. It's the best we've got. So go and help him out. Go join it. Why not? What harm can it do if we have somewhere politically that we can go to? But again, this is all things whose time are coming, and you can see how Farage, a year ago, he was saying Stephen Edgington, oh no, mass deportation is not feasible. I don't want my name attached to mass deportations. It's not my ambition. To now, I will mass deport 600,000 of them. Blah blah blah. It's
not enough. Not enough. Those are rookie numbers.
Oh really? Why is that? Because the tide is turning. Right, the pressure is building. They can't just call you a racist. They can't just diffuse this. Things are way too far gone for that. And so things are slowly but surely changing.
I think that what he's saying here is completely accurate. And I think also, again, the type of I think people call it controlled opposition. I wouldn't call it controlled opposition, but that's what a lot of people are calling it in terms of, Nigel Farage and the other people like that. I think that really people want dramatic, drastic, extreme action taken. It's very evident that that's the case, at least from what my read on the situation is. I could be wrong, and of course some people don't agree with me, but I think that there are enough people that agree with me that this is a sentiment that will win an election. Basically, right? 100% control of the opposition. Yeah, exactly. Sure, right? And so, yeah, it's 600,000 over 5 years, rookie numbers. Yeah, there's probably going to be more that are going to come in that period of time. So I don't really see how that's going to solve any problems for anybody. So yeah, people want justice. Well, I think that people really I think that they want justice. And also, this might not be something people want to hear, but they also want revenge. They do. They want revenge, and they want a degree of payback for what happened that, all of this, they've been suppressed, they've been pushed down, they've not been able to speak out, give their opinions on things. And I think they absolutely want revenge, against the politicians. Well, I definitely, again, I don't support violence, any sort of political violence. I don't think that's a good idea. But again, I do think that it's something that's pretty fucking obvious that that's where things are going, right?